You're watching The Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey, what's going on, Robbie?
What's up? How you doing, Rex?
I'm doing all right, man.
Man, how are we doing? We got the little poke, we got a little peek at pre-swag Robbie, and I think that should be our giveaway. We're gonna get like a little Funko Pop or micro brawler made of pre-swag Robbie, and that should be the giveaway, maybe for like the end of the year.
Yeah, you can get the limited edition turkey neck version of it as well, man. So yeah.
But why would there be swag? Am I missing something?
Yeah, we'll have to go back. I don't know how long. We only have 2 hours. I don't know how I can explain pre-swag.
It's never stopped you before.
See, I got a ton of like godchildren, which is why I speak a smattering of youth. But
is that what you think it is? Okay.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you in the chat.
Nice, man.
I figure you were just happy with the big Dallas win.
Yeah, I am actually. I mean, I know it's the Giants, but how about them Cowboys? You know, CeeDee Lamb's having a phenomenal month, man. So
it's a 2-7 team, but you go ahead. You have your moment.
A win's a win, man. And can't we just all be happy?
No.
You just wait, Rex. You just wait, Rex, because the toughest part of y'all's schedule is coming up. We'll see what happens, man.
It is, no doubt, absolutely. I totally agree.
The show will be off the air for 7 weeks.
But if I hear if I see one more meme, one more post about Dak and the 400 yards, dude, come on, man. Okay, come on, bro. Enough already. You guys should zip it. Just zip it. Take your win and move on. Zip it. You beat a 2-7 Giants team, man.
All people will care about in the league now is Taylor's boyfriend's team and Taylor's boyfriend's brother's team. Other than that,
is it time for me to go Swifty again? Man, they're a powerhouse, dude. I mean, come on.
She's changing the movie industry. She's changing the NFL. Dude, you're right.
I'm frightened.
Somebody called her.
The world's going to be overrun by a bunch of 12-year-old girls.
Somebody on Blue Sky called Taylor Swift She Who Remains, and that's who I see her as now.
Dude, it is just crazy.
I just want to live long enough to see her elected president, to hear the collective groan of the olds. Oh,
we'll be dead.
That's why I said I just want to live long enough to see her hand come off the Bible, and I'm good.
Yeah.
CJ, Nick should know better than to ask that show. I think we all have our roles to play, but Nick should kind of know.
We're still trying to figure out what John's role is.
It's a sports show selling comics.
So, John, I did go to the new place this weekend.
Did you really? Where'd you go?
I did.
Town. How was it?
It was excellent, except that they were not prepared for the first day. I waited over an hour for my 10 wings.
Literally, because of the size of the Facebook group in South Jersey now, nobody is prepared for opening day because they didn't realize there was that level.
Not only that, it seemed like they had a lot of friends and family show up to support them. Yep. So all that mixed in together, they were beyond. But it was excellent. It was very good.
It was. I'm glad.
A new Korean kind of fusion, Korean American fusion place. They got corn dogs. They have a teppanyaki steak sandwich.
The teppanyaki.
Then they have burgers and cheesesteaks. No offense, I'm not probably going to try one of their cheesesteaks.
One of the things I love about comics, there's 3 things I really love in life. I've said it before: food, comics, and wrestling. And the thing I love about all those things is that there's a space for everyone. It's very inclusive. Like, you might not like the same thing I do, but we both like to go to the bar and eat. Like, I might like a different pro wrestler than you, but the people who buy tickets every month, they love it as a whole. And comics are the same way. Maybe Robbie's reading a horror comic, maybe I'm reading something else. But you know what? I see Robbie at the comic book store. Well, Bobby's a bad example because he has a comic book store.
So, CJ, that is a good
what I mean?
point, though. CJ's calling me out. That is a good point. But there are two reasons I went. First of all, sometimes opening day doesn't go well, right? And you hear
more often than not in the business, it does not go.
Right. So it's something I've been waiting for because it is
I guess we're starting early tonight. Hold on a second, Rex.
right around the corner from my house.
I thought T-Pain was up in the room for a second.
But the good thing is it's so close to my house. When I went back the second time, and the guy's like, it's another 30 minutes.
All right, I'm going home.
I'm like, all right, I'll tell
I'm
you
going to
what.
walk here. I'll be
I'm gonna ride home, do some things, and then come back.
But
It was
saying Comcast. Are we off the air?
No, but you're stuck.
Rob.
No, you're still stuck.
Now we know the real reason why we don't get to sell in comic books within the first 10 or 15 minutes of the show, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. At this point, it's just comedy, right? It's just comedy.
Where's Alex with the MiFi?
All right. Well, I'm sure we got the Dynamite Readers set, don't we, Jay?
We sure do. As soon as I scroll up to the picture, there we go.
Hey, check that out.
Forget this
10
being a
random
sports-
Dynamite books for $5. That's a $40 value for only $5. Christmas is coming up. These make great stocking stuffers, make great AOKs to send out to friends, or just leave them around at like waiting rooms at like dentist's office and doctor's offices and things like that. Spread the joy and the art of reading with people this holiday season.
All right, are we back?
I don't know. You tell us, Rex.
I don't know without you telling me if we're back.
Well, you're not going. So I think you're fine.
Oh my God! Now Comcast is trying to push their Xfinity crap. Got another notice on my door. It's like I just want to tell them.
Well, they keep sending you notices until you pay your bill.
No. They've already sent that $100 to collection, which they'll never get. Yeah. So again, with Comcast issues, I hate Comcast. I absolutely despise.
Sell us some mystery facts. But we don't even need to be here anymore. The audience and Robbie and Jay do the show. Like, we don't need to be here. They know it's going to happen.
So big question.
Robbie even posts burgers. I don't need to do the food bit anymore.
Dude, that was a delicious burger too, man. There were 2 patties on that. Pepper jack, serrano peppers, red onion, some nice lettuce, and some Gouda cheese as well. Oh, dude, it's so good.
Gouda's a nice choice for burgers. I like that.
So,
Bueller, pay your bill, Rex. Thank you.
Nope, never happening. Haven't had Comcast for years. They've already reported the $100 because it's over $100.
Remember that time the lights went out in Robbie's store at the show during the show?
No.
Yeah, because he pays his light bill, and that never happened.
Oh no! Are you gonna get me? Are you gonna get me on my soapbox? The bill thing was after 3 months of intermittent internet connections, and we negotiated it down to the last $35. And the guy is trying to negotiate with me, and I said I'm not paying that last $35. It's been 3 months of on and off. Okay? He says, well, there's nothing we can do for you. And at that point, I said, well, come get your crap back. Well, so you can return
you know why Nick doesn't have any problems on Friday? Because on Monday, Nick isn't on the show complaining about Comcast.
Problem is, same bill. So, but yeah, I told him you can come pick up your crap. He goes, well, you can drop it off, or somebody will be there. I said, nah, I ain't waiting around for your guy. I'll leave it out on my front doorstep. If you don't pick it up in 3 days, it's mine.
God,
it's sitting in my basement right now. They never came to pick it up.
Your house is just gonna be surrounded by police tape.
Nope. I don't think so. All right. So
you left this open. The pickles, onions, sesame seed bun. Marcus set everybody up, and nobody finished it.
Wait.
What's the rest of it? Like tomato, onions, sesame seed bun, right? That's the rest of it, right? Yeah.
Special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
2 all beef patties.
That's how it
You
starts.
might wonder why John and I know that even after all this time. Because I don't remember the exact year, but they were running a promotion.
Yeah.
And if you could say all of that, you got the Big Mac for free.
Yeah, you would go in, all these kids would line up and they'd stand there and they would do the thing in the little spot and they'd get their free Big
And
Mac.
McDonald's probably went back and said, man, we messed up. These kids are remembering it word for
Too many
word,
of
man.
these kids are remembering television.
We got to stop this promotion. This is killing us.
There's my burger from last night right there. So
This is what I'm saying. You don't
That
even
was
need
good.
me for the food part of the show anymore. Look at that. That's nice work.
That
Quality bun, not that Wonder Bread, looks like it's a month old. That's
I
quality
only
bun.
do the brioche buns now, John, and I toast them up nice. Oh man, it's great. It's great.
in bacon grease? Because
No.
that is not
No.
secret ingredient.
I don't just have
well,
bacon grease laying around. That's me though. I know a lot of people do, but I don't. So
Who the hell does, dude?
Most
maybe a
of
little
them-
bit of butter. People say bacon grease. My mom and grandma used to say bacon grease, man.
Yeah,
It's
they would
used, yeah.
save it in coffee cans. They would save it in anything that was closable. Remember the old Charlie's Chips tins? Because it had a good top? That's what we kept it in our house. So that when my dad would need bacon grease, he would just get a spoon and put it on
Your
the...
dad was also in the food business stuff.
He was a kid.
Okay, I'm just saying, most of us do not say bacon grease.
That's why when people are like, oh, John, you're a great cook. I'm like, I wasn't even the best cook in my house. Trust me. That was my dad, not me.
All right, so is Ron in the house? I got a surprise for Ron.
He was.
So I
He
don't know
was
if Ron's
very
here. I haven't
early
seen him
today.
on chat yet.
Did
So
you
I'm
get the
assuming-
joke yet? Did you get the joke in the morning today?
So you know what? This is a Ron special meeting that Ron has a right of first refusal.
Nice.
So we're gonna start the show off with this.
I think we're losing y'all again.
Okay. And
I want that.
so,
Yep.
sorry. I gotta do the white thing. All right, so
Once again, just look at that burger, Jay. How
That's
gorgeous,
nice.
right?
That's nice. That is nice. Not a fan of onions, but it does look good.
it's like
Yeah, red
Yeah.
onions, man. Made it that nice like
Made
bite
it-
to it, man. Really good
it's
stuff.
one of
They don't
Hey,
realize it yet. That's what my favorite part of this whole thing is, Jay.
I know.
best.
And like Rex is showing the Flash comic and moving the opposite of the Flash right now.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
It's like that Madonna song. You're frozen when your heart's not open.
Goodness.
If Rex would open his heart a little bit. See, that's why Nick doesn't have these internet problems, because he's got a big heart.
That's true. That's very true. Oh my goodness, they're froze bad. Wait, I think they're what?
Oh, John just glitched in and out of the Matrix. Did you see that?
And that. This is crazy.
This
dude.
dude's been
I'm gonna
showing
have to
books
talk to
this
him
whole
All right, so
time.
this is the second one.
Rex?
No.
Rex,
I realized we were out.
This is the set.
I don't know, dude. I'm ready to go home. All right, so Moon Knight versus Batman. So Ron, if you are out there, buddy, you have
You
right
might
of
want to
first
do all of
refusal
that
on him. I
again,
think
Rex, because
that
we didn't get any of that, bro.
as soon as Ron's here, because it really is for Ron. So at this point, I
It's
might.
a good thing Ron isn't here because we weren't there either.
I swear. All right, so here we go. So this one is Flash versus Quicksilver. Yeah, John Spilios. Yeah, you and Ron and might have something for you as well, my friend, if you are interested. We'll have Amy bring it in. But these two, I know that Ron, but the Big John, you did request them. All right. So Ron, I was instructed by Nick. Ron has
Because
got
it's working, okay? I don't about the MiFi card. He says it's working because he's watching, and I don't know.
all right, we blanked out twice, but okay.
Oh boy.
All right.
It's
I'll
probably
tell you
the
what.
laptop.
John's here. Big John, can you
Mhm.
bring the other two in that Nick gave you?
At this point, I'm thinking it's for the laptop.
I think
All right.
John Cole, I think you may be onto something. I'm just saying. I don't know.
I'm at this point, I'm pretty sure the laptop needs to be replaced. But
Probably.
I'm not,
But
you know. I'm here.
Hey,
for
John. Yeah, sorry
It
these
wouldn't-
took a
it
while,
wouldn't mean-
but
it wouldn't
these took a
it wouldn't
while.
mean
But
he would
I don't know,
see
I
it,
think
so
they were
his
worth the wait.
explanation, I think he just
Hi,
missed it.
Amy.
All right.
Hi, Robbie. How are you?
So
I'm
this
fantastic.
was the other one. Big John, you looking, buddy?
Business is about to pick up.
So this one also.
Nice.
All right. So this one also is retail 200. But I think we're gonna be able to do this for 125 for the pair.
Yeah, all of these covers look amazing.
All right. This one is gonna be a little bit more. This one is $250 just at retail.
Oh,
And what's it say on the sticky, Amy?
That's
What?
What's
Great.
it say on the sticky on the back? 200 and
Yeah.
250
John,
retail,
claim.
and it's
We don't even have to talk.
150. All right, so John, which one are you claiming, buddy? Gotta let me know.
All
We
of them.
showed the two. So are you
Okay.
talking
Again,
about?
sorry they took a little time, but Ken did a great job. He
And we've
really
got
did.
more coming. So
All right, so Big John, you gotta let me know which one you're claiming, buddy.
he's claiming both the Superman Hulk and the Daredevil versus Blue Devil.
Oh, no,
Which, by the way, John, I have to tell you,
I don't want to touch your comics, man.
I am jealous. I am jealous, dude. Congratulations.
Look at the coloring on Blue
Congrats.
Devil. That's amazing.
Isn't it?
Isn't it? That's probably the best the Blue Devil has looked.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's
Look, I got to tell you, this is totally Paris Cullins inspired.
look at that. That's
All right, so
crazy.
John is claiming the Blue Devil. He did not say if he was claiming the Superman Hulk. So let me know, John.
What I think we need to do, Ronald, John already claimed that one.
But we have two that you have.
Yeah, we have two set aside for you as well, Ronald.
So can you want to hold those up?
No,
right
we're
next to
good.
it?
We're good. We're good. Right now, these are the four. Let's worry about these.
Okay.
All right. Claim Hulk as well. All right. We're all.
Nice.
All right. So just to let you know, Ken did a bunch of these for different people. So, it's Nick.
Oh, it's Nick.
I hope you didn't get me confused with Amy. I mean,
I'm gonna need a post-it note that says claim.
Amy just gave me the dirtiest look in the world.
I'm gonna need a post-it note claim that's about this big. Just like a big whoop over all of these.
These are awesome.
Wow.
We got more coming in.
All right.
We got
so-
more coming in.
So Nick, why don't we show Ron, because I already showed it, so
Okay.
everybody's seen it. So
Okay.
now that Ron's back, let's show it to him.
All right. So, and John, these happen to be on your list as well, and you'll be getting different ones.
That's the resting.
So
image.
these two are Ronald's.
Man, I love that. I love the whole black and white thing.
So it's like these guys had to have my favorite characters on here because I wanted them. And this is Ronald's. So,
All right. There you go, Ron. So I wanted to show it to you. You might have stepped away from the computer, my man. No big deal. All right. So these, when they came in, they are awesome.
Yeah.
Good suggestion, boys. Thank you.
more to come.
More to come. There we go. All right. So now, you know what? We might as well do the rest of the sketch covers while we're at
Yeah,
it.
I mean, well, we're kind of
We're on it, right?
doing sketch over.
I got to tell you, the two, these are all great, especially since two of them are cover recreations. But man, that Catwoman really threw me off. I did not realize that was original art. I thought that was like a limited edition cover.
The one by Tony Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Large Man, the morning joke was hysterical. It cracked me up.
All right, so here we go, Jay. Green Lantern Season 2, Number 1, signed with Hal Jordan, cover sketch by Brendan and Brian Frame. Suggested retail of $129.99. We've got it tonight for $59.99.
Or as close to 60 as you'll get since he first appeared in 1960.
Fair enough. All right, so then,
And that's the correct color of green.
yeah. Now, and it has John Seal of approval
That
on
is
the
the
cover.
correct color of green. That
So
looks
there you
great.
go. All right, this one is really cool. Despicable Deadpool number 287, signed with Iron Man, cover sketch by Dan Needlinger. A homage to Iron Man 126 and Tales of Suspense number 39. It's just a retail of $149.99. We have this one tonight for $89.99. All right, next up, we've got A&X #1, signed with Spidey versus Doc Ock, cover sketch by Jessica Court, Mariano Nicieza, and Lance Footer. Just a retail of $149.99. We've got it for $62.19.
That's cool, man. It took me a second to kind of get my eyes focused on what I was looking at there. That's really neat.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? And Jessica Court does great work. Mariano clearly,
Yeah.
that guy's okay. He might have a few.
That kid might make it in the industry.
All right, you
What
got
this
Lawrence.
looks like to me, it looks like Spider-Man's like Sonic the Hedgehog, and he just got hit, and all of his rings just flew off of him. You know what I'm saying?
That's great.
Oh, you didn't make the ding, 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 ding sound. All right. Next up, we have Doctor Strange #1, signed with Hulk versus Zemnu by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Homage to Defenders #12. Yeah, I got Lars, man. Thank you, Jay. So, all right. So, Mariano was convinced you would know the Zemnu character.
I was. Zemnu was actually, this was from the Defenders, but this was started before in the Hulk.
Yeah, it's the original. He's the original Hulk, right? Like he was the first one they came up with called the Hulk, I think.
Yeah, he was sort of like the prototype. Also, there was that period where they had Hulk, like Kirby and Lee had, like Hulk was doing like a monster a week, right? After a while, you kind of run out of ideas. So from that era, you wound up with this kind of furry creature. You wound up with Groot, so after a while, they just started looking out the window and, you had characters made out of brick. Some of those Hulk Week Monster of the Month characters didn't make it. Some of them were, they're really cool. People kind of fell in love with them, and then they're brought back and brought back and brought back. I'm always glad to see this stuff from, that doesn't get completely forgotten.
All right, so.
Yeah, the Living Hulk, TJ James.
So what did Lars Man buy?
He took the Spider-Man. He called the 3-artist one.
Lars Man, I already have my TSO tickets.
Spider-Man 3-artist one?
Yes.
Which one was that?
That's the one with Spidey in the water.
Oh.
All right. So next up, we got Fearless Defenders #1, signed with Moon Knight versus Werewolf by Night, cover sketch by Jessica Court.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to move Lars Man's over.
So it's just a retail of $149.99, and we've got this one for $75. I really like Jessica's work.
This one's got a nice sense of energy about it. I like that.
Yeah, something about the way she does it. All right, so let's see. All right, this is the one Nick was talking about.
Well, the one thing I'll add on this one is it's got a little bit of Sienkiewicz. This is an interesting one because it's got a little bit of Sienkiewicz and a little bit of Don Perlin. Totally reflective of the first appearance in Werewolf by Night 32 and 33, with just a smidge of Sienkiewicz in the Moon Knight.
Especially on the cloak, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. That sounds.
The cloak and the muscles and in the arms and the legs, like Sienkiewicz would do it.
So you'll have her start doing Barbarella Windsor? She would kill on a Barbarella cover. Wow.
Guys, get her in now before we get her on Barbarella.
All right, so this one is $75. All right, so last one, this is the one Nick was talking about. Batman Urban Legends #1, signed with Catwoman, cover sketch by Tony Scott. New artist, $149.99 suggested retail. We've got it for $89.99. And as you look at it, what Nick was saying, it was hard to tell it was a cover sketch at first.
Yeah, it's your eyes sort of just don't go to cover sketch initially. You're like, oh, it's a cover. Oh, wait, no, it's not.
Yeah, he's another good one. Kudos to Mariano for finding that one out, for finding Tony Scott. So he's another new artist.
I love the gloves. I love sort of the way she did the gloves there. He did the gloves there. That's very cool.
It is very cool. His stuff pops out at you. Amos, thanks for joining us, man. All right, so I think, it's time to go to our first break. All right, when we come back, we'll do a quick Rex cap of the cover sketches, and then we'll move on to signed books.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff up here tonight.
According to a statistic that I just made up, people spend 4 hours a day changing the television channel. People who watch The Experience don't do that. Save yourself a ton of time by tuning into the experience and enjoying our new original programming 7 days a week. And then tell your friends. Think about the money they could save on batteries in the remote alone just by tuning into the experience. Find out more by scanning the QR code below. Did you know that every experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code. Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.
You just finished the last episode of your favorite new show, and you just have to talk about it. But all your friends are ghosting you because of that incident last week at the buffet. Oh, you know the one. What you did to that chowder. Ugh. Keeps me up at night. So what do? Join writer Dan Wickline as he breaks down all your favorite pop culture media. Whether it's a review of the latest nerdy TV show or a dive back into the history of your favorite comic characters, Dan's ready to discuss all the hottest topics live. Join the conversation as Dan live streams Tuesday through Thursday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The Dan Wickline Show on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Hey, we're back. All right. So, TJ, what's going on, buddy? All right. So, let's do a quick recap of the cover sketches, which we covered. All right. So, first up, we have Green Lantern Season 2, Number 1, signed with Hal Jordan cover sketch by Brendan and Brian Frame. It's just a retail of $129.99. We got it for $59.99 tonight.
If it's still here at 801, I'm going to get it for a lot less than that.
Yeah, $0. All right. Then we had Despicable Deadpool number 287 signed with Iron Man cover sketch by Dan Needlinger. Love this cover. Homage to Iron Man number 126 and Tales of Suspense number 39.
I have to wonder if Bob Layton is watching this on his extended vacation going, hey, did I do that cover?
It's just a retail of $149.99. Tonight we have it for $89.99. All right, then we have Doctor Strange number 1 signed with Hulk versus Zemnu,
the Living Hulk,
by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. It's just a retail of $149.99, and we've got it for $75. Then I love this one too. Fearless Defenders number 1 signed with Moon Knight versus Werewolf by Night. Cover sketch by Jessica Court. It's just a retail of $149.99, and we have it tonight for $75.
It's so funny that you had this on today because I was looking at a bunch of like Mike Plug fans. Facebook comes up on my thing, and because I'm aware, and it's just, and all day long they've just been posting all these great sort of Plug commissions that people got like back in the day. Here I am from like 1994, like Chicago Con or something, and Plug is like doing, essentially like the same 4 or 5 covers over and over again. And I'm like, you know what? I would, like people were like, oh, why didn't you ask for something else? But in my mind, I'm like, nah, I just ask him to redo a cover. I'd be like, I love your stuff. Nice to meet you. Can you please do like Werewolf by Night 14? Thank you. And just let me know where do I send my money?
All right, so the last one we had was Batman Urban Legends #1, signed with Catwoman cover sketch by Tony Scott. Suggested retail of $149.99, and we have it tonight for $89.99. So I saw somebody mention the Marvels. So John, we know you've seen it.
So today, I've seen it every day since it's been open.
There you go. Robbie, have you seen it?
I did. I watched it yesterday.
Okay, so guys, impressions?
It was exactly what I thought. I knew they weren't going to hit. I think Robbie asked, "Is it going to be over or under 60 million?" I was surprised it made 40 million. We're in a culture now where like Marvel is like old news. It's old hat. An entire culture is brought up. The MCU is old. It's over. What a lot of the kids like to say, it's fallen off. Okay, that's just the way of the entertainment world through the internet. People don't know about something, then they really like something, and then it gets really tired. It's the same in music. It's the same in anything. For the movie in and of itself is exactly what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be featuring those characters. Could this have been different? Or that have been different? Yeah, sure, man. Whatever. It was super entertaining. I could totally see where people have said that's like Brie Larson's last go as Captain Marvel. I occasionally make the mistake of reading the comments, which no decent person should ever do. But some of the things said about her are just so far out of any kind of realm of decency. If I was her, I'd be like, you know what? I can make this money doing something else. I'm out. So I don't know if we'll get Captain Marvel again, at least anytime soon. I think the draw there is Miss Marvel. The actor who plays Miss Marvel is delightful. And I think people are really hoping to get like another season of Miss Marvel on Disney Plus. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that's sort of like the bright spot in what's pretty gloomy right now. They've got this weird sort of the Eternals didn't work, this didn't work, that didn't work. I don't really know what you do if you're them. You've had Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson were like, thanks, but we're done. Right. Thor on his own, they lean too heavily into the goofiness and not nearly enough into what should be like a Lord of the Rings aspect of Asgard.
TJ, I don't know, but I've written it down. Hopefully they're watching and they'll be able to tell us. Otherwise, I will find out for you. All right, buddy?
I'm kind of right there with you, John. I thought the movie was good, right? I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was exceptional or extraordinary, but I also didn't think it was terrible or ridiculously bad. I got some issues with it. Iman Vellani as Kamala, she's the heart of the movie. She's like absolutely the best. Brie Larson feels like she's checked out of that.
And she really does.
She does. She's not hitting. Yeah, she's like doing the bare minimum. This movie is very comedic, or it's trying to be very comedic, and she's not quite fitting with that. And if we could have dealt more with the hero worship and her not feeling like she deserves it from Kamala, that would have been better than some of the Monica Carol conflict that I felt was maybe a bit too forced. And I don't know, there could have been some things differently. It was a bit episodic for me, where it felt more like 5 or 4 20-minute shows put together, but overall I thought it was fine.
Bobby said it's the nail on the head. This probably could have been on Disney Plus as the next season of Miss Marvel. I don't know if they needed to be a big box office release.
Yeah, I actually think that probably would have been that would have been better, actually.
I think
Kamala and her family,
the Marvels, and you could kind of do your stuff.
Kamala and her family were the best part of it. And the other thing is this: what a forgettable villain! Like, do you even remember her name? You know what I'm saying? And dude, let's just think about this real quick. The plot of this movie is the plot of Spaceballs, bruh.
No lie. You guys know I love Marvel movies, but I like I said, it wasn't terrible. I'm going to go see it regardless. But the best description I could give is exactly, I'm right with Robbie. This is a Disney Plus level product.
TJ got you covered.
All right, TJ.
Oh, my God.
So it looks like we do have the Void Comics, buddy. So
can we get 9 more thumbs up? I hit thumbs up twice, and we're at 20, but 28 people watching. Amy, did you hit thumbs up?
Of course I did.
All right, so
People were not happy you
we'll
left
bring,
on Friday.
TJ, give us a couple minutes. We'll bring the voids, or you can email me and Amy
Yeah.
if you want. That's not the other way. But all right, go ahead. So
I would give the Marvels
Amy saw the
3.
movie on Friday,
I would
right?
give them. Hold on. I would give the Marvels 3 out of 5 is what I would give it as far as a rating goes. And there is one joke that John will know what I'm talking about. There's one joke that they do way too many times, basically involving the cat. They do it too many times. It's not as bad as the screaming goats, but they really overplay that. And I don't know why Nick Fury's in this movie because it doesn't feel like he needs to be.
Here's the other problem I had. It seems like the last couple of these movies, they are relying on a mid and or post-credit scene for that huge pop. And I just don't think you spend 10 figures to get that 30-second pop from 30 seconds of a post. Essentially, when we were kids, they used to be called coming attractions, right? Now they're previews or whatever. The post-credit scene is supposed to be bringing you back for the next movie. Like, I can't wait. That can't be the only thing you are. Because I'm sitting through this movie. Most of us, I think, are on the same page. Not bad, not great. Really kind of Disney Plus level. You can make the point that the biggest pop I heard in the movie theater is the mid-credit scene. That's it. So I'm like, you're really going to spend $190 million for that? No.
So what else sold? I had Chick-fil-A, so I'm overstuffed, so I need to see stuff sell. I just spent $11.
That wasn't budgeted for November.
It wasn't. That's the problem.
Okay.
$11 at Chick-fil-A. You went crazy, Nick. You went hammed. I want
telling
2
you.
chicken sandwiches.
I got a little bit of change with that too.
A little bit. The holidays are coming, and Nick would like to get the extra biscuit. Buy comics.
So Marcus, I like the Echo trailer, but I think it's kind of a John Wick sort of thing. I'm watching Echo trailer. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a good thing. Who knows?
So, do we have
Amy, you watched the Marvels, right?
Yes.
What did you think?
So yeah, I saw it Friday night. I just liked it. I didn't love it. I just liked it. I understand the criticisms. I think the number one thing I would do to fix it is it needed to be a full 2 hours. I think they needed certain scenes to be longer and more fleshed out, like here and there.
I wanted to stay on the musical. I wanted to stay on the musical planet a little bit longer, personally.
I love the musical planet, man. I want the next movie to take place there.
But I think it really just tweak some parts, maybe shuffle around a few things. Just make it a full 2 hour movie. Really soak in the emotional parts and just watch it. And watch how you do the comedy. That's really the number one thing I would do for it. Just make it a full 2 hour movie. Because it felt certain parts we felt like we missed something. I understand you want to make it like a fun movie, and it was a fun movie.
No, it didn't.
I understand. And sometimes you do need that kind of energy, but certain things felt so incomplete. I kind of wish we had, as much as I love watching Kamala draw out her fantasies, I kind of wish we watched her doing helping somebody, see what her day to day was. And then it's okay.
It was fine.
And then why is my bangle glowing? So I wish I just wish it was expanded on certain parts. That would be my
dude.
That's how I would.
Kamala had a level up in fighting ability out of nowhere in this movie, by the way, too. The dude's use your scarf, and all of a sudden she's like a ninja, bro. She's just and I'm like, what? I don't understand.
He got that from the guy in the show. What is his name?
The Prince?
Yeah, the guy. No,
I believe it's Jan.
In her show.
Oh,
I can't remember his name. The
Red Hood or something,
not Red
right?
Hood or Red Scarf or whatever his name is. But I'm wondering if that's the scarf thing. Did she learn that from him? Because he was a real capable dude. But again, we don't know that. We don't hear anything because parts are too short, like Amy said. And then other things are just kind of going on and on. Why do I need to see Nick Fury? I need to see Nick Fury for
I understood why he was in there.
I need to see Nick Fury for a few minutes.
Because he was important in the first one.
So I think the bigger question is, what did we expect? What do we expect from the MCU? I mean, that's one thing we've never actually, in all our discussions, we've never really covered. We're very quick to take apart what's already been there. But what was the last movie we thought had some sort of, like, we're looking for, I guess?
For me, it was Guardians 3. That was the last. Like, I fully enjoyed Guardians 3 and loved it. Right. Here's the thing, though. I think it's a benefit with this writers and actors strike happening. There's no Marvel movie next year except for Deadpool 3, which is not really an MCU film. There's no DC movies. We're getting that year off.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And when Marvel comes back with movies in 2025, we're talking Captain America. We're talking Thunderbolts. Maybe not as exciting, but Fantastic Four and Blade. And then we got Superman Legacy in 2025. We're getting a year off of the main thread of DC and Marvel movies. I think that's going to be very beneficial.
Yeah, I think so too.
It really is sort of like the, you know what I mean, the silver lining in the cloud. DC has tried everything and nothing has quite worked. The MCU has tried everything, and I've told people this before. The MCU, Guardians 3 is about as good as you're going to get. The Avengers Endgame is a once-in-a-lifetime high that people will chase again, but that's not going to happen.
For a while.
You can't look at that. In that, Guardians 3 is a great example of what you should be looking at right now in a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Like, the balances were right, things were okay.
For this current phase, this phase 5 right now, like, Guardians was what I needed it to be, what I thought it was going to be, and really, technically, same thing with the Marvels. I wanted like a fun time at the theater with the three, and I technically did get what I wanted. The only thing I did, like, Ant-Man Quantumania was not quite what I wanted it to be, right, what I thought it was going to be, and that's why it's a little lower on the list right now. I still don't completely dislike the movie. It just still wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
So then, of course, comes the news of the very disappointing box office.
Morbius 2? Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Well, no, they're saying it's the worst one since when?
I think it's the worst one ever. Like, the opening domestic is,
but again, there's million reasons why.
47 million, and they were anticipating at least 70. So,
all right. So, I just realized we have 2 giveaways tonight.
Ooh.
So we should make the hashtag. You know what? Let's do EXP, hashtag EXP. Yeah, what the heck? 40 likes. Let's see if we can get that.
TJ James, I know what you're saying. This is almost relating what TJ James is saying. What it seems like there's just way too much relying on the mid and post credit scenes.
I agree.
Both of which were good for the Marvels. I thought they were neat. The post credit scene was sort of like, oh, maybe this is the direction they're going in the future. I'd like to see more of that. The mid credit scene was spoiled a month, 3 weeks before.
Well, okay, so I don't know which ones you're talking about, because there's not technically a post credit scene. There's like the scene, there's a pre-credit scene, and then there's a mid-credit.
Oh, yeah, that's a better way of putting it, yeah.
Now, the mid-credit scene, it was exciting, just to see that. That was really cool. But the pre-credit scene, obviously setting something up, and I'm there for that, because Kamala Khan, she could be a part of a very necessary part of the future of Marvel going forward and through Phase 5 and into 6 and 7 or whatever they want to do.
I like that, Robbie. I hope Robbie gets his credit for that pre-credit scene.
I hope Kevin Feige can keep the job.
Usually they call the pre-credit scene the movie, but
the end of the movie.
Well, that brings up another good point. But real quick, let's Jay, let's throw up the giveaways. All right, so the first one we're going to give away, and we'll give that one away in the next half hour. Give Jay a second there.
He probably dozed off.
Sorry, I was waiting for you to pick one because I have 2.
You pick one. That'll be the first one, whichever. All right, so Dynamite Never Dies.
Dynamite. Say it right.
That'll be the first giveaway, and we'll do that in the next half hour.
Gentlemen.
And then Justice League of America. The second giveaway, and we'll give that away in the last half hour. And Triple B, buddy, EXP. You got ECP there, buddy.
Look at
it's not going to pick that up.
Look at the viewers drop off when Amy leaves the room. That's terrible.
So yeah, but
well, I'm glad Mr. Easy-Go-Lucky remembers the villain's name, Darbin, because she was so forgettable to me in this movie. And if you notice in the last couple trailers, you hear Thanos talk about someone's going to carry on my legacy. That was not the plot of this movie. The plot of this movie was Spaceballs, and without any spoilers, you know, they got the Act 1 thing going on, which is very Spaceballs. They got the Act 2, the Act 3, the final thing that she's doing. I don't think it works that way. Like, I don't think you can do that. Like, I don't know. It just seems so far-fetched. And I know we're talking about a Marvel movie.
I really don't want to crucify the movie, but there are just, if we really are going to sit down and open, like as my dad would say, open up the back of this thing.
Well, I think part of the problem is I don't know. I don't know that we know what we're looking for anymore. And every MCU movie feels like
Marcus's comment, man. Oh my God.
Thanos' legacy was there. He snapped at the audience way. That's funny. But I think what Eddie is saying is also very true. I think that opening box office just doesn't mean much anymore, because the time between when it's on a big screen and it's on my flat screen, I mean, I enjoyed the movie because it was entertaining. I'm with friends, we're eating, we're drinking beers, it's Halloween, I'm a happy guy. But Five Nights at Freddy's was literally on my screen, and one of my friends, his daughter and her group, went to see it in the movie theater. That's almost like a simulcast. So, you know what I mean? I was just like, I think that opening box office numbers don't mean what they did at the beginning of the MCU.
I would tend to agree with that. But again, that's not what they're telling us.
You're lucky. They say what they want, but
I would agree with that to a point. But like, people still do go to the movie theaters. Like Saw X had very good opening numbers for what they were expecting. Oppenheimer had very good numbers for what they were expecting. Barbie exceeded their expectations. Super Mario Brothers. There are people that still go see these movies. People are going to go see Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying? So like the audience has just abandoned it because it's just been kind of the same kind of mediocrity since Endgame.
Barbie didn't exceed Robbie's expectations. Robbie once again called $1 billion, and he was right. Let's be clear. My expectations, absolutely. A lot of people's expectations. Robbie said, I smell $1 billion in the air again. And he's absolutely right, just like he was with Super Mario Brothers.
I think, well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I think that it was kind of cursed even before it came out. People were already bashing it. It had very much a Flash kind of feel to it, in that the criticisms, certainly the strike didn't help. All these things involved just kind of sank
the fact that an industry and subculture has cropped up where things are review bombed and people are financially benefiting from bashing movies before, during, and after. I don't think some of the earlier Marvel and DC movies had to deal with that. I think there are people now that will pay someone to just write something horrible. And I think, and it's not just like the subreddit nobody wants to admit to reading. And it's also in comic books too. Every time I open Facebook, Bleeding Cool or somebody has some kind of story about how the MCU is in flames and everything's horrible. Like every day, people are clicking on that, and that's generating revenue. So there's money in the sort of, the sky is falling. There just is. That being said, I'm not taking anything away from the valid criticisms of the Marvels or, anything like that. But I'm almost surprised we didn't get more trash talking about Guardians 3. Thankfully, we didn't, because Guardians 3 was excellent and delightful. I've watched it a bunch of times, even at home now.
Jay, before we go to break, let's take care of the grab bag packs and reader set. All right, so I want to give you a minute to be able to do that. I don't know.
Jay, they do it to restaurants. They've done it to professional wrestlers. They do it to bands. They decide there's money to be made in sinking someone, so they do it. if you probably break that down, don't they always do that? Isn't what
you saw the
Fleet
quote from
Street in London
Stephen
is
King
like?
about the movie. So Stephen King said, MCU not his cup of tea, but why do we all take such great pleasure?
Stephen King wants to know why everybody is so happy that they're not doing well. And he said that about something else as well.
Yeah, I think that was a very relevant point that Stephen King made. All right, so here we go. So let's do this before we got to go to our next break.
The best Stephen King comment I ever saw was somebody said something about a Joe Hill book. And some guy said somebody should teach that guy about horror. And Stephen King quoted that tweet and said, "I did, thanks." And I was like, it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen on Twitter. He was just like, "I did, thanks."
All right, so I know Robbie did an excellent job with it, but here we go. Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, $3.99 cover price or higher, and as always, we have it for $5, 50 cents a copy. All right, the next up, we got the Dynamic Forces Grab Bag 3-pack. $5, mostly DC and Marvel titles, with a few indies sprinkled in. So 3 random comics for $5. Then we have the Grab Bag 7-pack, 7 random comics for $10. And Ron Guy, cool buddy. And then Dynamic Forces Grab Bag 15-pack for $20. So they are random titles, mostly DC Marvel, with a few indies sprinkled in. Then we have the X-Men Random 20-pack grab bag. 20 random X-Men titles from the 90s with a chance of the 80s or 2000s. Books are 9.0 or better. So a 20-pack for $20, $1 a comic. Hey, Preston. All right, so you missed the Rex Cap, actually.
Jay said something I really think, and I'm going to just touch on this real quick. You're a comics fan. Same thing is going on in the restaurant business. Same thing's going on in pro wrestling. Why are you cheering when someone fails? People who watch this show know Batman is not my favorite character in comics. Also, I wasn't too shy about the fact that Robert Pattinson as Batman is embarrassing. Patently embarrassing. Pun somewhat intended. That being said, I think I saw his version of Batman 6 times in the movie theater because I wanted to be successful. Nothing else is going to be the Michael Keaton Batman. That's an era. That's a certain thing. I'm not going to see that again. And I get that. But I still want the movie I don't want to see the Batmobile be a muscle car, but I'll sit through the movie anyway because I want the movie to be successful. This idea of dancing on the ashes, I'm never going to get that. They're doing it with restaurants, in pro wrestling. They're happy when someone gets hurt. I'm like, what are you doing? You're happy when someone gets hurt?
I think, unfortunately, what you're talking about is an overall.
I don't
know. Whatever you want to call it, overall problem we're starting to see in society. Social media has a lot to do with it because it's become much easier. Someone once told me that, social media is a lot like road rage. You get behind the wheel of a car, somebody cuts you off, and you act. We've all done it. You'll act like a complete lunatic that you wouldn't if you were having dinner at a nice restaurant or you were at your relative's house. You wouldn't act like that, but you'll do it behind that 2-ton vehicle for whatever reason. It's a mentality, and
it's always a short-term thing too. And then you're almost embarrassed to admit it later.
But then you see that, unfortunately, social media has allowed us to do that now in a very real way, without getting into a car. And that's what you're kind of seeing. So, you know what? We got to take our second break. When we get back, we're going to do a quick Rex cap of everything we covered. We'll go to incentives and then sign books. So stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form. You know how when you go to Comic-Con, after Comic-Con, you go to the hotel bar, and there's a whole bunch of people playing music and dancing, and you've got Pikachu and Lara Croft Tomb Raider doing the cha-cha slide just down from Deadpool and Batman and Wonder Woman? That's every Saturday night over on the Experience Twitch channel. Join Taji Beats for the EXP Dance Party, exclusively on Twitch, twitch.tv/the_EXP.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey. And behind every page, there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
All
Hey,
right,
everybody,
there
we're
you
back.
go. Robbie screaming his head off in silence. All right, so let's do the quick Rex cap. All right, here we go. So we did Green Lantern Season 2, number 1, signed with Hal Jordan, cover sketch by Brendan and Brian Frame. Suggested retail of $129.99, and we've got it for $59.99.
That's really nice.
Oh, you love green, so of course.
No, but even the colors here, the work itself. I mean, even if this was colored or even in black and white, the line work here is just so nice.
Yeah, that's the one thing the Frame Brothers is known for. All right, next up, can't believe this is still here. Despicable Deadpool number 287, signed with Iron Man cover sketch by Dan Needlinger. Suggested retail of $149.99. Homage to Iron Man number 126 and Tales of Suspense number 39.
This is a great pickup for those people who would like something from Bob Layton, but it's just not in their price range. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be bopping around and I see Bob Layton pages for,
Well, what I love about
$3,200.
What I love about Nate Needlinger is his ability to kind of use. It feels like a different medium. All right. So I've become a big fan. I'm still a big fan of Ken Hazer, but I've become a big fan of Dan Needlinger. So $149.99. We have for $89.99. All right. So
Jay, that would have been great. Like basically like Deadpool armor. That would have been cool.
Yeah, right. All right. So you know what? All right. Next up, we got Doctor Strange number 1, signed with Hulk versus Zemnu by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $149.99. We've got it tonight for $75. And then we had Fearless Defenders number 1, signed with Moon Knight versus Werewolf by Night, cover sketch by Jessica Court. Suggested retail of $149.99, and we have it for $75.
All jokes aside, I hope Nick does have someone put her on the book at some point, because I would like to see a lot more of her work.
All right. So then, last cover sketch of the night, Batman Urban Legends number 1, signed with Catwoman, cover sketch by Tony Scott. Suggested retail $149.99, and we have it tonight for $89.99. All right. Yeah, Lai already said he was snowed in, man. I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
Right?
Yeah, I know, right? It's getting a little bit. I think we had our first frost the other night, and I'm already complaining. All right. So let's do the signed books. All right, we've got first up Hack Slash versus Chaos #1, signed Atlas Edition, signed by Tim Seeley. Suggested retail of $49.99, and we've got it tonight for $29.99.
I enjoy when Dynamite is a little bit chaotic, or in this case, Atlas Comics. That's one of those things that Nick kind of pulled off that I always thought was very cool.
All right, so this one for our buddy John, The Green Hornet, Volume 3, #1, Atlas Edition, signed in gold by Anthony Marquez.
Wow.
Suggested retail of $89.99. We have it at a blockbuster price of $19.32.
Anthony Marquez sort of really dialed into what I consider the right style for this version of the Green Hornet.
Jay, that's not my department, buddy.
Jay, I'm still waiting for my Vampirella animated series on Amazon. Nick has got a big wish list from the readers and from the fan base.
All right, next up we have Amazing Spider-Man number 600, signed by artist John Romita Jr. Suggested we've got it for signed in. Is it signed in? Oh yeah, signed. It is number 63 of only 125 signed. We've got it tonight for $69.99. All right, and then we've got
Great angle on this book, like this cover. You know what I mean?
what is in the Green Hornet book? What do you mean? What do you mean, TJ?
What is in the Green Hornet book? Like what storyline that is? Or...
You would know better than anyone.
I'm just trying to figure out what.
Hey, TJ, we need some clarification, buddy. Not entirely sure what you're asking. All right, so then we have
Is there a Green Hornet Dakota ring? Because I'll be all over.
I think the correct answer is spiders. You open it up and it's just a bunch of spiders are going to jump out at you.
All right, so then we have Shadowland #2, signed by Billy Tan. Number 43 of 50, and we've got it for $19.99.
Man, that's a. Whew.
All right, so
Reminding everyone that the star of Echo is going to be Kingpin.
I gotta admit that's a pretty cool trailer.
Yeah, the trailer looks good. Kingpin's been around for a really long time, and I'm glad to see in a lot of these things that we're selling now, in these like villain league type stuff, Kingpin comes way more. Wilson Fisk was the mayor of New York for a while. Obviously will be an Echo. The guy takes essentially center stage on this cover.
All right, so then next up we have Fantastic Four number 584, signed by artist Steve Epting. And we've got this one for $10 tonight. That's one of the cheapest prices we've ever had for a signed book, that's for sure.
I'll tell you, when you saw Steve Epting doing work for the Avengers in the 90s, at no point did I think his work would develop to what you're seeing right now.
Right.
There was just not that he was a terrible artist or anything, but there just wasn't. There are artists where the first time you look, you're like, oh, I'm in. And there are other times where initially Epting, you're just like, okay, this is the guy drawing the Avengers. Who's going to be the next guy drawing the Avengers? And then you fast forward a little bit, and I don't know if he just woke up one day and was a million times better. I don't have any artistic ability, so I don't know how that works. I just know that look at where he is now from where he was.
Hey, Stevie B, I'm going to have to look, buddy. If you could you send me an email? I can't speak to what's in John's truck. I'm a little afraid to actually look at it. The FF has a slight thing up the left-hand corner. Just want to be full disclosure on that. That's why we got it for $10. All right. And then we have Black Panther, Man Without Fear, number 513, signed silver by Francesco Francavilla. Suggested retail of $69.99, and we've got it tonight for $40. All right, and then last signed book of the night, Herc number 2, signed by Greg Pak. 6 of only 25 signed, and we've got that one for $19.99. All right, so let's see here. Okay. All right, you know what? Let's see some stuff move. What do you think, John?
I see you just give everything. Nick wants to sell books, make everything $1. We'll be done in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, let's sell as much as we can tonight. Maybe we can get you guys a new crap top. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right.
I'm pretty sure the next episode is going to be on a Give a Show projector. You'll have to pull the slide frames through.
All right. I can't believe the Green Lantern is not sold, so I'm going to price it at a point where I think that even John might buy it because he loves green. So the Green Lantern season 2, #1 with Hal Jordan cover sketch by Brandon Bryan frame. Okay, suggested retail $129.99. We had it $59.99. Let's make it $50 even.
Wow, that's a great pickup for somebody. I mean, that's really. I'm fortunate that I have a couple of these sort of Green Lantern. They're not blank covers; they were green covers essentially, and this is probably maybe the strongest image I've seen on that. This is really, really good.
Well, I'll tell you this too. With the holidays coming up, one of the things that happens in my shop is someone will come in and they'll be like, I want to get a gift, a one-of-a-kind kind of gift for this person. I'm like, do you know what they have? Do you know if they like this? Do you know? And very rarely do people know what's in someone's collection. But if you know that somebody in your life that you want to get a gift for is a big Green Lantern fan, I guarantee you they ain't got this. You know
I was going to say that's a great point. I was going to kind of get into that a little bit later, but we're kind of creeping up on the holiday season. It's, probably, and this is a great way for the sketch covers and some of these other things. I don't care how big a Flash fan you are. Chances are you don't have Ken Hazer's Flash and Quicksilver Racing. Same with this Green Lantern book. Signatures are one thing. The sketch covers in particular, this is a great thing to get somebody. If you see they're a grown man with like the bat signal on their car, you have a pretty good idea what they're into.
Jay, the problem was not with Shadowland. It was FF number 584, buddy. All right. And on FF 584, there is a small ding on the upper left-hand side. All right. So that's why we got a price at $10.
I have a family member that works for Hallmark, the store, not the company. And she told me one of the best-selling ornaments is the new Green Lantern. It's actually about this big, button hanging on the tree. Thankfully she grabbed 2 for me, so I'll have 2 on my Christmas tree. But clearly there's movement on these. So that means that there's Green Lantern fans out there looking for stuff. This is actually a great book to buy for somebody that's, a fan of that, or, we used to talk about this back when we called them remarks, right? It's as close as you're going to get to original art without spending original art money. And I think, it's the holiday time of year. The Dynamite 10-pack, last year we did that. People were buying them and sticking them in people's, like that Secret Santa, or sticking them in a stocking or something like that. I know it seems early. We're still trying to enjoy the glow of Halloween, but Thanksgiving is next week.
Yeah.
And then Black Friday touches off, and you know what I mean? It's nice to just order this stuff and have, basically Rex handle the Christmas shopping and just have him mail it to you.
All right, so next up we have Despicable Deadpool number 287, signed with Iron Man cover sketch by Dan Needlinger. Suggested retail of $149.99. We have it for $89.99. You know what? Let's do it for $75.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to find any Bob Layton art for $75. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but Bob Layton is not at the $75 price point. This is probably as close as you're going to get to that look, that creative energy. And you're right, it's always Halloween. My mistake, but I'm sorry.
All right.
Probably a sentiment Robbie shares as well. But
All right, so then we have Doctor Strange #1 signed with Hulk versus Zemnu by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. We have it at suggested retail of $149.99. We have it at $75. Let's do it at what do you think, John?
$6.
Can't go that far down.
See Nick come flying in the door.
Let's do it at $65. All right, I'm trying to get this stuff to move, people. I can't go no lower than this. This is a beautiful piece of art, cover sketches.
$65, Nick can barely put a deposit on food at Chick-fil-A. Have you been in Chick-fil-A? It's not cheap. It's like $13 for a quart of Diet Lemonade. Now, in all fairness, that Diet Lemonade they make is delicious. But I don't know where the bobblehead Rudolph is. My guess is like Mariah Carey, he's right around the corner. I'm trying to remember if they were mental blasts. I'm trying to remember what Zeno used. I remember he looked like a big furry, but he was like a super scientist or something. He had like mental blasts. These were like weird characters where I almost feel like it was they would spin the wheel and whatever it landed on, it landed on.
It's weird. We don't speak about Rudolph any longer. All right, then we have Fearless Defenders #1 signed with Moon Knight versus Werewolf by Night, cover sketch by Jessica Court. It's just a retail of $149.99. We have it $75. Let's do it for $65 on this one as well. All right, and then last one. This guy, Tony Scott, is awesome. Batman Urban Legends #1 signed with Catwoman cover sketch.
This is still
Tony
here?
Scott.
Somebody has bought this?
I'm shocked.
Is like no one a Batman fan in the stream tonight? That's wild.
Suggested retail $149.99. We have it at $89.99. We'll do that one for $75 as well.
Wow.
I can't get no lower than that, people.
I mean, that's if that doesn't sell at $75, we should probably end the show because I can't think of anything cooler at a lower price to offer people. I mean,
All right,
I'm super impressed by this cover, like everything about it. And again,
it's just so.
Not a Batman guy, not a Catwoman guy, but holy cow!
All right, so let's do the incentives from last Wednesday. Only have 3. All right, so we have Punisher Volume 14 #1, 125 ratio by Salvador LaRocca. Suggested retail of 20, or trading for 25 currently. We've got it for 10.
Don't you just send these directly to Spilios? Why are you putting this up for? Just send them the bill. What are you doing?
That's a really good price for a 1 in 25. First appearance of a brand new character, and I know there was a lot of trepidation about this, but the book was really good. It was actually a really, really good book.
All right, so then we have Superman 78, the Metal Curtain #1, 125 ratio, Doug Braithwaite variant. Also trading for around 25, and we've got it for 10 tonight.
Superman 78 in general is like a real personal favorite for me. But I remember when Alex Ross discovered what would you
Hey, John, you're talking about the Superman, I assume. But...
No, he's talking about the Punisher.
Oh, Punisher. Gotcha.
And it's this thing of he's flying just to fly. And that energy is kind of captured on this cover that I love. I remember in Astro City #1, they're introducing their Superman-esque character. And Busiek does this great job of showing you what would this person want to do for joy. And they're happy that they just get to fly. Like it's forgotten with all the wild and crazy things people do in comics. How amazing would it be if you could just fly? And that's exactly the kind of energy, the energy from this cover. Like Superman enjoying himself, not saving people, not fighting Lex Luthor, just being. I like this a lot.
All right. So then finally we got Superman 78, the Metal Curtain #1, 150 ratio, Adrian Gutierrez. It's trading for 50, and we've got 2 available at $20 tonight.
That's also a good price for 1 in 50 bucks.
All right, so that does it for the incentives. Let's see here. All right. Ooh, we do have 2 mystery packs.
Ooh.
All right. So the first one is Women of Star Wars mystery pack. Includes a CGC 9.8 signed book and a signed cover sketch. Suggested retail of a total retail value of $229.97. We've got it tonight for $150. All right, and then the second one is a Hulk mystery pack. Includes a CGC 9.8 signed book and a signed sketch cover. Suggested retail is $239.97, and we've got that one for $150 tonight. So you're getting the CGC 9.8, which is retail value $99.98, signed book and a signed sketch cover. All right. And then let's see. Let's do another Rex cap real quick. I cannot believe it.
You know, women in Star Trek. Although I would love to see that cover series.
Did I say Star Trek? Or I might have. My bad, Edward. All right. So let me see. Oh, you know what, Jay? I'm not going to start with the reader set of the grab bags. Make it a little bit easier for you. We'll do that one last. All right, so we just did the incentives. Punisher Volume 14, number 1, 125 ratio, Salvador LaRocca. Trading for 25, we've got it for 10. Then we had Spider-Man number 78, the Metal Curtain number 1, 125 ratio, Doug Braithwaite variant. Trading for 25, and we've got it for 10. Then Superman 78, the Metal Curtain number 1, 150 ratio, Adrian Gutierrez variant, trading for 50, and we've got it for 20 tonight.
Yeah, this is a great way to kind of pick up these books. I know for collectors it's maddening because by the time the book is announced and out there,
right,
the price is already blown up to the point where certain people I think almost have like a little bit of fatigue. Like, what do I have to do? I don't want to drop $100 at eBay every time I open the app, right? And this is a good way to kind of pick up some of these. You know, you've got to be right place, right time, blah blah blah. This kind of takes the joy out of collecting a little bit.
All right, so then we have Green Lantern Season 2, number 1, signed with Hal Jordan cover sketch. Hal Jordan Green Lantern cover sketch by Brendan and Brian Frame. Suggested retail of $129.99. We did have it at $59.99, and now it's at $50.
There's a lot of attention to detail, even to the. I think the first person credited with maybe doing the starburst like that on the ring back in the late '80s was like maybe Pat Broderick, and I love to see the fact that somebody picked that up. They're really trying to kind of, hammer home.
Right.
The Hal Jordan-ness of this cover, which I really like.
All right. Then we had Despicable Deadpool number 287 signed with Iron Man cover sketch by Dan Needlinger. Suggested retail $149.99. We had it at $89.99 and we lowered it to $75. All right. Then we had Doctor Strange number 1 signed with Hulk versus Zemnu by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail $149.99. It was $75 and we lowered it to $65. All right. And then Fearless Defenders number 1 signed with Moon Knight versus Werewolf by Night. Cover sketch by Jessica Court. Suggested retail $149.99. We had it at $75. We lowered it to $65.
I really like Jessica Court's background choice here too.
She's really good about that.
You know what I mean? Because you almost wonder like where this fight is taking place if this is the background. I kind of dig that.
All right. So then we had Batman Urban Legends number 1 signed with Catwoman cover sketch by Tony Scott. Suggested retail $149.99. We had it at $89.99, and now we got it at $75. All right, then we did Hulk Slash versus Chaos number 1 signed Atlas edition signed by Tim Seeley. Suggested retail $49.99, and we've got it at $29.99. Then John's favorite character, the Green Hornet, Volume 3, number 1, Atlas edition, signed in gold by Anthony Marquez.
I like everything about this. The Atlas edition also has like the news banner version of this at the top for Green Hornet.
That's right.
I really like that.
Suggested retail of $89.99. We've got it for $19.32. All right. Then we have Amazing Spider-Man number 600 signed by John Romita Jr. Number 63 of 125, and we've got it at $69.99.
Marquez's work has that Jacob Edgar energy. Jacob Edgar is a lot on social media talking about he wished he was faster. He's notoriously not a super fast art creator. And when I see Anthony Marquez work, that leads me into Jacob Edgar, which leads me down that road where all of those roads eventually lead. That style is perfect for those characters. You know, like the style is simplistic in the characters from the 30s. And I think doing it that way adds a lot to the storytelling.
All right. So then we had Shadowland number 2 signed by Billy Tan. And we've got that for $19.99. It is a very cool cover. Then we have Fantastic Four number 584 signed by artist Steve Epting. And we've got it for $10. There is a small ding on the upper left-hand corner, so I want to be full disclosure about that. Then we did Black Panther, Man Without Fear, number 513, signed in silver by Francesco Francavilla. Suggested retail of $69.99, and we've got it for $40. Then we have Herc number 2, signed by Greg Pak. Number 6 of only 25 signed, and we've got that for $19.99. And then we did the Women of Star Trek Mystery Pack, Star Wars. I did it again, man.
Amy's going to be here after the break if you do that.
Star Wars Mystery Pack includes a CGC 9.8, a signed book, and a sketch cover.
Jay just realized he doesn't have this pick.
What's that?
Jay said he just realized I don't have this pick.
For which one?
I don't feel like to ask Jay. Maybe the Women of Star Wars thing.
Okay. I'll take care of that in the next break, buddy. All right. Then we have a Hulk mystery pack. Includes a CGC 9.8, a signed book, and a sketch cover. Both the mystery packs are $150 each. All right. So when we get back, oh, you know what? We got to do the first drawing. I just realized.
No, this is good. I
Yeah,
just know
so
CJ was
Jay,
in the chat tonight.
You could do the drawing for Dynamite Never Dies. I'm sorry, what did you say, John?
No, go ahead. Do the drawing. That's more important.
Give Jay a minute to
Give
spool
people
that
free
up.
stuff. I was just saying CJ was in the chat earlier. He was on Instagram today saying to make sure that I brought you a sandwich because I posted a picture of a sandwich I did for Thanksgiving.
All right, spin it, my man. And Stevie!
Congratulations.
All right, congrats, buddy.
Wow, I like Dynamite.
All right, so cool. All right, so
Oh, that reminds me. I should
Yes.
be asking Nick for more Dynamite.
you should. Asking him. what
Well,
the
by
Dynamite
asking
was.
now, it'll be ready for next Halloween.
There you go. All right, so congrats, Stevie B. Send it if you're still watching. Send a submission form. If you don't, we know where you live, so it's not going to be that big a deal. But
If he doesn't, he can deal with Amy. I'm not dealing with that.
I'm not either. I'm totally gonna push Stevie B under the bus. No way I'm taking the heat for that.
As I'm walking out the door, Stevie B said he ain't filling out no form, and then I'm just gonna walk out the door.
And said, "What you gonna do, Bad
What you
Amy?"
gonna do about it?
And then we run. We run like
I'll
the
be
wind.
gone.
All right, so we're going to take our last and final break. We'll be back. We'll get to the back issues and a couple of graded books as well. Stay with us.
What if Hans Gruber from Die Hard had to battle the Joker from Batman the Animated Series in a dance battle? Or who would win in a race between Baby from Baby Driver and Snidely Whiplash? If Austin Powers and Shrek found themselves in a hot dog eating contest, who would emerge victorious? These are the questions we talk about on Nerd Killer Warfare. Debate the most absurd questions you've ever heard in popular culture. Register now by scanning the QR code or visiting bit.ly/EXP casting.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales. There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
Go follow The Experience on TikTok at @the_EXP1 or scan the QR code on the screen. Our TikTok is like everywhere else we are, except you only have to deal with us for a minute. Seems like a win-win to me.
We're back.
Stevie just posted a really good question, and I'm pretty sure Robbie will have a more informed answer, being a retailer. But as a non-retailer, I have to say, for the most part, I don't see that stuff from the 90s that they glutted the market with. As cool as they were, hologram covers, by and large, I don't see them have the sort of value held on the stuff we do today, like the rarer incentives, sketch covers, or anything like that. And there's always going to be exceptions to the rule, but I haven't seen generally, like, for example, I was heartbroken when I saw the glow-in-the-dark Spectre cover sitting in a dollar bin. I mean, I just bought it because it was there, but I remember the day that came out, like the lights were out in that part of Steve's Comic Relief because they wanted to sort of, you know, like show you this actually glows in the dark and it's really cool. And people were buying multiple copies, and now it's sitting in a dollar bin. I don't know if we'll ever get to a point where a 1 in 50 cover is going to be sitting in a dollar bin. Robbie, what do you think?
I don't know. That might actually happen, but like, all right. So okay,
Lyle, it is signed by Anthony Marquez and is actually $19.32 signed in gold. All right, so let me know if you want it, buddy. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. So I would say that like some of those covers have actually creeped up in some value, like the Venom Lethal Protector #1 is actually higher than I think it should be because there's a lot of them out there. But you also got a situation where there's a lot of people holding on to things. But the problem with some of those gimmick covers from the early 90s is that they were printed in crazy numbers, right? Those Fatal Attraction X-Men books with the holograms on them. Yeah, you may be getting, the market value of an X-Men 25 where Wolverine gets his adamantium ripped out, maybe $20-25, but there's a lot of them out there that most shops are just going to sell them for like $10 or something, right?
I think the problem. I agree with you.
I kind of thought that would be Robbie's take, but I didn't want to put words in his mouth.
Now the thing with incentives is that incentives, they typically don't do the best at holding value, like modern incentives, unless it's a big issue. Like the first appearance of Spider-Boy. If you have a 1 in 100, then you're good, right? If you got that variant of Ultimate Fallout #4, like if you got a rare cover or something like that, then that kind of throws out some of those things. So it's when this comic book market, as usual, as always, very volatile, and it's you never know what the demand is going to be on what character, on what books, right? That being said, I got tons of the Night Thrasher #1 that's got the foil on it by Fabian Nicieza. So, and I ain't selling none of them. Right? I'm a sucker, by the way, for foil covers, but I will tell you this.
Remember the red foil on his nightstick thing?
I know, man.
That's the perfect.
Night Thrasher's coming back in a new series for Night Thrasher in February, y'all. That's one of my favorite characters of all time is Night Thrasher. I'm telling you, this dude in his first appearance goes up against the Juggernaut with just a skateboard. That's intestinal fortitude. You know what I'm saying?
Thrasher is a character that shouldn't have worked and worked way better than they imagined.
But I'll tell you one thing that the foil and hologram trend of the 90s has done is it's made it easy to sell modern foil covers. Companies are starting to catch on. Dynamite, y'all have done a bunch. Do a foil cover, and I will lose my mind over a foil cover. I'm like, oh, you reprinting Batman 608 again? Oh, it's foil? I got it.
I gotta have it.
I think the problem with the 90s.
I just thought it was a great question.
I'm going to be real quick because these guys need to actually sell, but I thought I was the only Night Thrasher fan. You ready, Robbie?
Oh no, what you got? Dude, you got the joke. Is that the original? No way.
Yeah.
The Marvel Masterpiece card, that's the original?
Yep.
Oh my goodness, dude, you got that's high art, bro. That needs to be in the Louvre, man.
No, it doesn't. It needs to stay in my collection.
Dude, that's awesome. Do you have other originals from Marvel Masterpieces?
I got 30 of them.
Nick, we got to hang out sometime, man. I'm heading up to Jersey at some point. You see, we got to hang out. We're going to eat steak and we're going to share art.
You hang out with Rex, John, and Amy, not me.
No, he didn't care about us. I don't have any of that stuff.
I'd love to hang out with John and Amy.
I still think that ratings old is a show called I Have Cooler Stuff Than You Do.
No, never.
We just cruise through your house. Look at this.
Dude, I think I got to go change my pants now, man, after seeing that, dude.
You know what? Awesome. Nick can be as humble as he wants to, but trust me, Nick has way cooler stuff than almost anybody. He really does. I walk around this office and I'm like, oh, man.
I do love the idea, Marcus, that it's just in the bathroom. Like Nick just keeps it in the bathroom hung up.
All right, so let's get to the 2 graded books, and then we'll go to the FF back issues. All right, so Batman Spawn #1, CGC graded 9.8. It's just a retail of $99.99, and we've got it for $69 tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice. 2 characters some people care for.
Dude, and Greg Capullo doing all of the artwork. Come on, right?
That's
beautiful.
It's McFarlane Capullo cover art, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing that happens at the top of the food chain with these guys, right? They actually shoot a text to each other, let's do something, and it happens. Meanwhile, down here in the fan world, people have been imagining this for like 10 years.
All right, so next up, we got Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, #1. CGC graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $99.99, and we've got it for $69.
So the second time I met Bruce Campbell, it was like 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, and he had told, he was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Well, I work at a comic shop and I do a YouTube channel." And he just goes, "Well, that's a little bit too on brand, isn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." He goes, "Well, if you like comics, do you know who Sergeant Rock is?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm writing a Sergeant Rock book. Don't tell nobody. I had to hold on to that information for like a year, y'all. That was one of the hardest things. You know that the first thing I wanted to do was be like PCP exclusive.
I know, right?
Oh man.
I know what you're talking about. My radio show, people would be announcing like a new restaurant or something, and we would talk about it in the pre-production on Tuesday. And I would have to sit from Tuesday until Saturday night and not say a word, driving past the spot, knowing it was going to be this amazing restaurant, and just it's hard. It's actually hard. I mean, I've found out things here being here at Dynamite, and Nick is, don't say anything until we announce it. And I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for my book.
All right. So
Just to let you know, Marcus, Bruce Campbell smells amazing.
Bruce Campbell's a great dude. I've met him a couple times at Comic-Con. He's such a nice guy, like taking time to talk to people. I mean, of course there's a zillion people that want to talk to him, right? But just like with Robbie, he'll be like, what do you do? Where are you from? And it's just, he doesn't, I guess at that level, you don't have to do that. He could show up and smile and sign his books and take his pictures and go. And there are people that do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when they sort of take the time, make the time for just a few words or something, it's very cool.
It goes a long way. One of my favorite things about when I met Bruce Campbell that second time was at a certain point, he had to go to the bathroom or something. So we're all in line and we see him like get up and walk away. And then his handler's like, don't worry, Bruce Campbell's will be right back. He's like, yeah, everybody, I just got to use the bathroom. Then he flipped everybody off and went to the bathroom, and I loved it. He insulted me the first time I met him. He called me a schlub. I love it. I hold on to that. Actually.
Was this pre-swag, Robbie?
No, this is post-swag, Robbie. But
all right.
All right, so here we go. Let's get to the back issues. All right, so first up, we got Fantastic Four Marvel Milestone #1. We've got this for $8.
Hey, I've got that. That was my very first copy of Fantastic Four #1. I still have it. Love it.
I think for a lot of people, that's their first copy of Fantastic Four #1. Everybody in my generation, all the guys in their 50s still want it, and they still can't find it and get it.
Right.
I've got a lot of friends that are constantly, they can't find it for a price point that would end their marriage or take their kid out of college.
Right. All right, so next up, we got Fantastic Four #136. We have that for $10.
Oh, this is a nice way to fill in the gap.
First appearance of the Hell's Angels, right? What's going on there?
All right, next
Johnny's motorcycle breakdown in the wrong part of town.
All right, next up we have Fantastic Four #139. Got that for $7.
That dude's got a massive arm. If you really think about the perspective there.
Who's that guy? I can't read. Is that Arugula Man? What does that say on the cover?
It's Miracle Man, who debuted in Fantastic Four #3.
Oh man!
All right, next up.
Yeah, that arm is just. He's Hellboy before Hellboy.
All right, so next up we got Fantastic Four #203, Newsstand Edition. We've got it for $8.
The evil versions of the Fantastic Four, and they all have like the horn hair or whatever. Like that's how you show it.
Once they got the Son of Satan, the original Damien Hellstrom, over with the hell hair and Marvel's premiere or Spotlight or whatever it was, suddenly for years, if you were evil, your hair did that thing.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we got Fantastic Four #204, Newsstand Edition. We got that for $4. Then we have Fantastic Four #205, Newsstand Edition. We have that for $10. Then we have another 205. We don't have a picture of it. The one you see now is the one that's in weaker condition. The one in better condition is the one that's $10. The one you see up there is 205, and it's Newsstand. We've got it for $8.
I feel like Alex should be here flogging these, having his little stories, his collecting stories and stuff.
All right, then we got Fantastic Four #217, Newsstand Edition. We've got that for $8. All right, and then we got Fantastic Four #219, Newsstand Edition. We've got that for $5.
Is that the Giganto thing that Namor brings to life with the horn?
Yeah, I think it is. I'm pretty sure.
I think it is, because I think I see Namor on the cover. And of course, he's holding.
Oh, yeah, he's coming out of the left.
Yeah.
Left upper side.
People
It's
forget
Namor,
about
John. It's Namor. Come on.
No more, it's not. I think he's all done.
The French pronunciation.
They sort of, every once in a while, they'll bring that out. Like Namor will be in the middle of something, whether it's the Illuminati or whatever, and then all of a sudden Namor would be like, you know what, I had enough, and he goes and he gets that horn, and I always wait for those. I wait for those moments now.
All right, next up we got Fantastic Four number 237. Got that for $6.
Does everybody remember when X-Men comics from this era were this price? When Spider-Man comics from this era were this price? When Batman comics from this era were that price? And now they're not? If they can finally do a Fantastic Four movie that works, it's going to be different.
All right, next up we got Fantastic Four number 240. And it's a newsstand edition. We've got that for $10.
John Byrne Gold, y'all.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a John Byrne cover. Look at this.
And then we have Fantastic Four number 251, newsstand edition. We got that for $5. Then we have...
See, that's where I would like to see a Fantastic Four movie. We're doing these Fantastic Four bucks. Oftentimes, what is the Fantastic Four most known for, right? And it's debatable. Most people will say Galactus. I think for a movie, they lean into the whole negative zone thing. Not in the horrific way they did in that last movie.
Right.
But again, we've talked about this a bunch of times. They're not superheroes as such.
Right.
They're adventurers. In one of the books years ago, they talked about Reed Richards won the Nobel Prize for what? Discovering the negative zone. I would love to see a movie lean into that aspect where, and I think you kind of got like Byrne stepped in and there was less superheroing. There was less villain of the week and there was a little bit more, hey, let's deal with the Inhumans. Let's kind of, shift out, make things a little more space-like, sort of like Kirby, Kirby and Vision later in his, in what I call his Chariots of the Gods phase.
All right, so next up, we've got Fantastic Four number 254. Have that for $5. Then we have Fantastic Four number 256, and we have that for $5.
Annihilus. See, this is a chance to cast somebody as, like obviously the Jonathan Majors thing. They're not kind of sure how that's going to shake out or whatever. Thanos is done.
Hey, Derek, what's going on? All right. So,
who's going to play Annihilus? This is something I think is almost as important. Chances are, Fantastic Four movie, you're going to see Doctor Doom. But again, I would cast someone very cool as Annihilus. The next danger to the MCU should be the negative zone.
All right. Next up, we got Fantastic Four number 259. Got that for $5. Then we have Fantastic Four number 260. And we've got newsstand edition. We've got that for $5.
The Death of Doctor Doom is what this is. Yeah.
Then we have Fantastic Four number 267, newsstand edition. We have that for $5.
Reed had stretched too thin in this issue.
Fantastic Four number 268, and we have that newsstand edition for $5.
The Mask of Doom, 3D cover. You right? Look at that.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
And then Fantastic Four number 278 for $7.
The Rise of Kristoff. I'm a big Kristoff fan, y'all. When Doom died, he just took there was this like, what is it? I guess a backup plan, and they put all of his memories into this young kid, his ward Kristoff.
Yep.
So this kid now has all the memories of Doom and becomes Dr. Doom. This stuff was awesome, y'all.
All right.
Well, it was very much case of Charles Dexter Ward almost in Lovecraft, where I'm dead, but I'm really not. I'm gonna just drop my brain, my mind, my soul, whatever you call it, into like the next generation. That's kind of why I've got this kid here. I don't really care that much about his well-being, but hey, when things go south and the thing finally lands a Sunday punch, I'm gonna need to migrate on over here.
All right. And the last book, Fantastic Four number 282. We've got that for $7. All right, we have a run of 19.
Micronauts thing?
We have.
I'm trying to remember because it says Secret Wars 2, and I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I think Micronauts was already done at this point, right? Maybe, but it's Secret Wars 2 tie-in. I remember this one. It's fun.
All right, so all
Great
the
cover.
FF books, 19 books. All right, is a total of $133. If you buy the entire run, we'll do it for $100.
I'll do it for $99. I'll throw in the dollar.
All right, we're gonna do it for $99.
I'll throw in the dollar.
All right, so
I got a dollar bill sitting right on top of that Green Lantern thing I got in my trunk.
all right, so let's go. Let's do quick recap.
Oh,
for the end
dad
of the
jokes,
show.
but from Eddie.
All right, so we'll do a quick recap for the end of the show of everything we've gone through.
Oh, you know what? Real quick, before we do the recap, I saw it in the chat, but Robbie's got the JCVD thing, right? It's Bloodsport tonight, right?
It's Bloodsport tonight because we're officially kicking off Van Damme November, y'all. Come on. We got Bloodsport this week, Kickboxer next week, and Universal Soldier after that. So 3 awesome Van Damme movies back to back.
Jay just put it up in the chat. There's no reason to not go check that out because there's no devil's advocate. Right. Because, let's be clear, Kyle, the producer, is at the World Food Championships. Wanted to take a second and shout out, a little shout out, congratulations. He made it to like day 2. I've known people that have been cooking longer than Kyle has been alive that didn't make it to day 2. They're like
I saw a video he dropped where he was showing some of the seafood competition, right? Oh my goodness, dude.
He met a friend of mine down there, Brian Duffy, who's been from Bar Rescue, Frankenfood, a few other things.
Oh, and Eddie, real quick, this is my final chance. Voting for the CBC Awards ends this Saturday. This is your last chance to vote for me for best hair and beard. Come on, everybody. CBCAwards.org. We got
I got 8 minutes to get through this recap, boys. So I got to start now.
What are we gonna do?
What's that?
How much of a recap are we gonna do?
I'm doing the whole thing, buddy.
Oh,
all right.
Night,
so
everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. So Punisher Volume 14, number 1, 125 ratio, Salvador LaRocca. We've got that for 10. Superman 78, The Metal Curtain, number 1, 125 ratio, Doug Braithwaite. We've got that for $10. Then we have Superman 78, The Metal Curtain, number 1, 150 ratio, Adrian Gutierrez variant. We've got that for 20. Then sketch covers, Green Lantern Season 2, number 1, signed with Hal Jordan cover sketch by Brendan and Brian Frame. We even lowered the price that we had it at. It's $50. Then we have Despicable Deadpool number 287, signed with Iron Man cover sketch by Dan Needlinger. We had it at $89.99. It is now $75. Then we have Doctor Strange number 1, signed with Hulk versus Zemnu by Joe Del Biano and Mariano Nicieza. We had it at $75. It is now $65. Yes, John, Big John, we have more than one. Don't worry about it, buddy.
I thought he was doing like a voice. I was like, that's pretty cool, man.
I thought he was mad, dude.
What did you do?
You don't want to get Emilio mad at you.
All right.
Front door with a huge machine gun. Holy crap.
Fearless Defenders, number 1, signed with Moon Knight versus Werewolf by Night, cover sketch by Jessica Court. And we have that for $65. Then we had Batman Urban Legends, number 1, signed with Catwoman cover sketch by Tony Scott. And we have that for $75. Then we had Hack Slash versus Chaos number 1, signed Atlas Edition by Tim Seeley. And we have for that for $29.99.
That's a great cover.
Then we have the Green Hornet Volume 3, number 1, Atlas Edition, signed in gold by Anthony Marquez. And we've got that for $19.32. Then we had Amazing Spider-Man number 600, signed by artist John Romita Jr. And we've got that for $69.99. Then we have Shadowland number 2, signed by Billy Tan, and we've got that for $19.99.
Great cover. Wow.
Then we had.
And somebody said it earlier. I love the black out. You would think Daredevil would be wearing black all the time, but when they popped him into that black outfit, that was very cool.
Dude, Daredevil doesn't know what color he's wearing, man. Come on.
Oh no.
Fantastic Four number 584, signed by artist Steve Epting.
Man,
and we've got that for $10. Be forewarned, there is a small ding in the upper left-hand corner. And then we had Black Panther Man Without Fear number 513, signed in silver by Francesco Francavilla. And we've got that for $40. Then we have Herc number 2, signed by Greg Pak. And we've got that for $19.99. Then we have the Women of Star Wars mystery pack. Includes 1 CGC 9.8, one signed book, and one signed cover sketch. Total retail value of $229.97. We've got it for $150. Then we have the Hulk Mystery Pack. Also includes one CGC 9.8 signed book and a sketch cover. Retail value of $239.97, and we have that for $150. Then we have Batman Spawn #1 CGC graded 9.8. It's just a retail of $99.99, and we've got it for $69.
I'm surprised this is here, actually. There's a couple of books I'm surprised that didn't go, and this is one of them. I mean, these like a license to print money when you have McFarlane and Capullo on a cover.
Right. All right, then Sergeant Rock versus Army of the Dead #1 CGC graded 9.8, and we've got that for $69. Then we had a collection of FF back issues ranging from 136 to 282. It's not all in order, but it is a full run of 19 books. We have the whole thing priced individually, or if you bought it as a group, comes out to $133. If you buy the full run tonight, we'll do it for $99. All right, and that does it for the Rex Cap. Yeah, Preston, thought you were having a stroke. Oh, you know what we got to do?
What, another giveaway?
Yes, we have to do the last giveaway, the JLA. All right, so Jay, if you would be so kind, spin it, buddy.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Round guy.
Congratulations, Round Guy. That's nice.
That's kind of a whammy, but it's all right. We'll let it slide.
That's a nice book.
Congrats, buddy. I'm glad you won it. All right, so that's it.
Hey, Rex,
So,
put me down for the Steve Epting signed Fantastic Four, please.
You got it, buddy. Let's see. Steve Epting.
Yeah,
we had it at 10, so there is a Robbie surcharge of 25. I wasn't sure if you were aware of that.
Get out of here, bro.
The surcharge, you know why there's a surcharge. It's a Dallas Cowboys surcharge.
Man.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Dude,
Well, my
someone
first sketch cover that you get is going to be Dak Prescott, so I hope you're excited.
Oh man.
You better send him
400 yards, Rex. 400 yards. No cowboy. That's
I did
come
send him a
on.
book. I sent him several blank books.
When
How's that
he-
come along, by the way?
When he wins his back-to-back hair award, his quote for doing this show is going to be much higher, and you'll wish you'd been nicer to him when he had to.
If I ever get those sketch covers back.
Oh, you haven't gotten those yet? Those are in the mail.
Was it lost in mail? Was that what happened?
No,
His
I just
sketch
sent them off,
covers-
man. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
These sketch covers are with my weight loss progress report. You know when you're going to see those?
I think I'm gonna see that before I see the sketch covers. to be honest with you.
You're gonna be surprised one day. You're gonna get them in the mail. You're gonna be like, "What? Wow!"
It's going to be a whole thing. It'll be
Who sent sketch covers to a 5-year-old?
It's going to be the history of the Dynamite universe, and it's just going to be all covers of everything.
You won the JLA, Round Guy.
Round Guy, you want to
Jay,
get
can
the
we throw that
JLA
back
cover?
up for a sec? There you go.
There
That's
it
what
is.
you want.
Congratulations.
The Justice League versus the God Set. That's an awesome cover.
Yeah.
Set's apparently got a power ring, a Green Lantern ring, right? I mean,
I was just going to say, Hal Jordan, I'm assuming, is in a crumpled heap on the ground, and he just reached over and took it.
Oh my God.
That deep saturation of green is kind of, you don't see it a lot. You really don't. And I get it. A lot of people consider it ugly or whatever, but I like to see that. It's not the color you see on covers. It's like
Right.
a red and
Agree.
blue world.
Agree.
Which
I agree with
is
you.
white.
But all right, so tonight, and Edward wants to know what time, Robbie. So it's 9 Eastern, right?
9 Eastern. We're gonna be talking about Bloodsport, one of the greatest movies in cinema history.
I am still shocked that Van Damme did not win an Academy Award for that one.
I'm shocked he's not doing the show with Robbie.
Or the dude from Revenge of the Nerds. Why didn't he win? Now, Bolo Young should have totally won because when I was a kid, that dude scared me in that movie, dude. Like
Bolo
scared me.
Young,
legitimately.
yeah, he was. I saw Bolo Young in a martial arts movie years later, middle-aged dude, kind of chubby, and it was like a thing about fat shaming. And of course, he calls Bolo Young up because he's pudgy, and the guy is all ripped or whatever. And Bolo throws the guy out like yesterday's trash. It was great.
Oh, that guy had quite a career.
It was like
He had a
cautionary
pretty good
tale
career.
against fat shaming. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, he had a pretty good career, and if Bruce Lee didn't die, I think he would have had a much bigger career than he actually ended up having.
Well, Bolo Young, what was the Bruce Lee movie that he's in? Because he's in a Bruce Lee movie.
Dragon.
He's in Enter the Dragon, right?
Enter the Dragon. He is. You remember he was Han's number one right arm muscle guy. Remember?
That's right. Yeah.
Not the guy who killed his sister. But
That's Bob Wall who killed his sister.
Yeah, right. That was the old number one right hand man of Han. Okay, but somehow they never explained it to you. Maybe that would have been Enter the Dragon 2.
Well, I read Bolo Young, first of all, came from a family connected in the film industry. He was a bodybuilder, and because he was a bodybuilder, people didn't realize he was a super accomplished martial artist. He was also accomplished in grappling arts, which isn't nearly as popular in that part of the world as like Eastern Europe or something like that.
He was a big dude at the right place at the right time too. Okay?
He came out and everybody, like late 70s, early 80s, everybody was,
He was a Dolph Lundgren of this time. Man of little words, mean face, big dude.
You don't need that. If you're a body guy, as they call it in pro wrestling, just stand there and be big. We'll do the rest, everything else.
Yeah,
around.
but
I'm super surprised in the movie Bolo Young doesn't go, if he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
All right, so we got to go. Thank you, everyone. As always,
Thanks, everybody.
It's always a great time. Thank you, Robbie.
Check out Robbie in an hour.
Pop Culture Philosophers in an hour's time.
Oh, Wolfram, don't forget, go to CBC.
And hopefully he won't be doing his Bolo Young impression during that.
I'm totally too good for that.
I would too, probably. Thank you, John, as always.
Congratulations to everybody who won, who picked up stuff. If you're watching this after, buy that Catwoman thing and make fun of the people who didn't buy it during the show.
Hit the submission form, and if we still have it, we will honor the price.
Don't make Amy come looking for you.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So once again, thanks everybody.
Thanks everybody.
Great community.
You'll be back
soon.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Nick will be here Friday. Have a good week, everybody.
Join the party. Head over to our Linktree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.